Like love-dislike happens at first sight. It's also gratuitous. Maybe this feeling arises at the level of chemical elements. I work in a chain of hypermarkets. Middle management under my command. There is no staff. I contact mainly with the external environment, and what happens inside the hypermarket I almost do not concern me. Therefore the publicity of my relationship with the saleswoman Tina, not that I was not afraid. I did not advertise, of course, but also did not hide much. She is not my subordinate, but everyone already knew that we had been together for a year and were planning a wedding. Not that anyone was particularly interested in it, but girls are such girls. Tina once told a colleague in confidence, then told another colleague in confidence, then told another colleague, 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 then told another colleague. I think if it were not for my fiancé's incontinence of speech, our relationship would have remained unobvious for a long time. She comes to work before me for an hour and leaves early. Tina is pretty. Both her face and her figure are good. Our relationship was always good. We never fought, and we had sex almost every night. And then we had Keith. He got a job as a warehouse worker, loading and unloading, taking goods out to the hall. At first glance an ordinary guy, ordinary face, athletic, a head taller than me and much broader in the shoulders, and he was very hungry for women. Very soon it became known that he was hitting on almost all the girls and women in the store, flirting away, and very successfully. This could be judged by the way one or another sales girl started to spend more time with him, to leave work together with him, and after a while suddenly everything ended, and all communication between Keith and his girlfriend was abruptly cut off. It wouldn't have bothered me, and I wouldn't have paid any attention to it if it hadn't been for the fact that Keith immediately disliked me. He was in the habit of picking on me every chance he got, on and off on every little thing, and it wasn't the kind of thing that would cause confrontation, but when he made jokes and quips in the presence of other people, I always felt uncomfortable, and as I know many people do afterward in solitude, I would find witty answers that I would have shamed him with if I had said them in the same place. But these witty answers came to my mind much later. He could say on seeing my polished shoes that it seems the only physical exercise I can do is to bend over with a cobbler's brush. He could make a passing joke about my taste in music, causing my colleagues to laugh approvingly. And what can I say? Once when I was on the phone shuffling from foot to foot, he blurted out in front of the sales girls that if I really wanted to go to the toilet and was afraid I wouldn't make it, adult diapers were in the hygiene department, and all the girls around him giggled, even Tina. Damn it, I must be slow-witted. Not once did it occur to me to respond to him in a dignified manner. Thank God I didn't try to respond. There's nothing more ridiculous and pathetic than trying to seriously respond to veiled teasing. I began to avoid crossing him, and if he got in my way I tried to change direction to go around. I think he realized that in any case he started to get caught in unexpected places, and his nasty jokes were no longer avoided. And then he found out about my relationship with Tina. I noticed him talking to her a few times when there were no customers, and he was wheeling a cart of merchandise out into the hall. He was visibly joking and flirting, and Tina laughed and twirled a curl with her fingers just like she used to do when we first started talking to her. Tina, I said to her that night, we need to talk, and I told her about the covert bullying that Keith was doing, about his reputation as a womanizer, about the fact that he seemed to have his sights set on her. I spoke frankly and hoped very much for understanding. Tina, I told her, I'm asking you to stop all communication with him. You may think I'm paranoid, but I sense that he intends to do something nasty. Don't think I don't trust you. No, I love you and I trust you completely, but Keith, do you know he seduced several girls from our store already? I guess it's a sport for him. Baby, come on. My fiancé looked at me pitifully. I love you and I won't let him Take any liberties, don't even think about it, you have nothing to fear. She said that and I should have calmed down. But I thought it would be best to tell her that she wouldn't talk to him at all. And tell him why. The next day I was walking down the main avenue of the store and saw Tina and Keith. They were standing pretty far away from her department. He was saying something to her and she was giggling. I know sign language,